Welcome back to another episode of Catching Up with Katie. So if you're new here, we have been doing this for a few weeks where we take comments from Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and we answer them and we talk about them. And sometimes we take, just topics and talk about it for a while. And we've been kind of yapping and rambling a little bit. And then we also do a little catch-up segment where we just talk about what's been happening on the farm over the last week. So, Abigail?
Just give your update.
I feel like we do this every time.
Yep.
I'm like, Abigail, and you're like
give the update.
Like, just give the freaking update. So this week was weaning week. So we weaned the babies. Everything went well. We have already posted, the weaning day. I don't know that the posting of them going to the pasture will be before or after this, but they did good. So that was a huge weight off of me because that's always nerve-wracking. But other than that, we've just been getting ready for our annual dove hunt, which is September 1st, so that's in a few days. Are you excited for your first dove hunt?
I'm excited.
What are you excited for?
Food. I don't know. I guess just to see it because I've never been to something like that before.
You've been turkey hunting. It's different because turkey hunting, I was like, don't move, right. You couldn't move, you couldn't talk. It was, super early in the morning. Whereas dove hunting, it's like we eat and then we go out at like 2:30 and we all take, coolers of drinks and snacks and chairs and you can talk.
I was going to say, do you have to be quiet?
No.
They just don't care?
No.
Okay.
It's a lot more like fellowship. Like it's a lot more camaraderie in it than like deer hunting or turkey hunting. So, but you're going to deer hunt this year.
I don't know. We'll see.
If
only in the good blind.
Yeah, we have like a mega blind. We got to show that at some point. But I could understand being a little picky about that. But okay, so I guess that's the update.
Do an update on 7, just for people asking.
Right. So the reason we haven't been updating that a ton on YouTube is because we've been filming his life and the journey throughout for YouTube. But we've just never gotten to like a stopping point, of we thought maybe he was going to be coming home within a couple months when we first took him to the vet. For those that don't know, 7 is a micro premature foal that was born in February. He was born at 286 days gestation, which is a month prior to when we would normally consider a foal viable. A little bit of a miracle that he's even alive. And so he's now 6 months old. And on Facebook and YouTube, on Facebook and on TikTok, we've been showing his progression over the last 6 months. But we've really been just gathering footage over that time period for YouTube to do like an entire video of his life. And hopefully we're ending it with him coming home. So that's why it hasn't been shown on here, but he's doing good. He's at UT Knoxville. He's on 0 pain medication. He is going outside daily. He's still not, walking as normally as a foal his age would be, but he's moving around. Like a lot of stuff they're doing right now is like getting him to act like a horse because he's been with humans so much his entire life. So he hates bugs and he gets mad at things that normal babies would have experienced at this point. So he's doing good. Hopefully we'll have that video, basically documentary style at some point.
Since we were kind of talking about the babies, could you just go through and give all of their registered names that you're thinking of? So, Nate, this is where I'm gonna need you to do photos. Do you know the difference between them to put the photos?
Guess we'll find out.
So there's Molly, Freddie, Howie, Wally, and Daphne. That wasn't the correct order. And 7. We don't know what we're naming 7 yet. That's to be determined. But for the ones that are, gonna have potential show careers, hopefully for all of them, we're settled on RS Mollywopped for Molly. I'm very excited about it. I think it's going to be so cool because she's like so beefy and amazing, and it's like she's going to mollywop you with her talent. You know what I'm saying? So she's my keeper. I'm very excited about that. RS stands for Running Springs. It goes in front of all of the foals that I breed. So then Daphne's my other keeper, and she is RS Copycat. which is with K's, because her mom is Cattails Are Blazing. Her grandma is the Catwoman, very prolific mare in the industry, like incredible bloodlines. So we kind of wanted to do an homage to the mom side.
And Penelope too.
Penelope is a crazy cat lady. So it's like I wanted her fillies to all kind of have cat in their name. And then Walter, I feel like I said I was going to name him Black Ice. I can't get Iceman out of my head. And I think I'm going to end up going that way. So RS Iceman instead of Black Ice, because his mom is icy and elegant. Again, kind of paying homage to the mama instead of always to the sire's name. So I feel like it's going to be RS Iceman. I've registered all of them but Walter at this point because I've been like waiting. So all of them are registered except him. So I think that's what we're going to do. And then Howie, his dad is made for it. And I sometimes, if I can sneak their barn name into their actual name, I want to. So Howie is RS How It's Made. I don't know if they still do that show, but when I was a kid, my dad loved watching How It's Made for everything. They had all these like things that you wouldn't even, like how you make erasers, how you make all this kind of stuff. And so we watched that all the time, and you know, I thought it was cool. And then Fred, it's kind of on par with his mom's name. So Fred, his mom is RS Code Ginger because we bred her. We did that because her dad is VS Code Red. So we had Code in there, and then we're like, let's just do her name. Well, Fred rhymes with red. And so we're like, let's do RS Code Fred. And he literally looks exactly like Code Red. So that's all their names, which is RS Code Fred, RS How It's Made, RS Copycat, RS Iceman, I think, RS Mollywopped. I don't know what 7th is going to be. And that's kind of up to my mom. So we'll kind of see what I think we will do it just for the heck of it. He's never going to be a show horse or go to a horse show, but he deserves a name. Yeah. You know? You looked very disappointed when I said Iceman versus Black Ice.
I like Black Ice, but it's not up to
my thought process is how, if he stays a stallion, how that would translate into like a stallion name. And I just feel like it'd be like, oh, I'm going to go watch Iceman. Or, oh, did you breed to Iceman? Like,
they're both cool.
I just think it's cool.
Yeah.
So.
Still talking about the babies. Someone asked, how do mares in the wild wean their babies?
So generally in the wild, and I'm not an expert. So if I say something wrong right here, this is what I've been told / seen. There's some wild horse actual groups that I follow on Facebook and TikTok and keep up with, like Brumbies in Australia and things like that. And so it's really, really neat to see. But especially with the colts, the mamas will get pretty aggressive and start pushing them off before they have, or when they have their new babies. And when a mama horse is aggressive, she's a whole lot meaner to them than we are separating them. Like kicking, biting, squealing, you know, very aggressive to push, especially the colts off, because instincts tell them like, get away from me and don't breed me, you know? Yeah. Whereas the fillies, they usually have like a little mare band, and the fillies usually stay with their mom. And I don't think it's uncommon to see a yearling or a 2-year-old sneaking a little snack off of mom, but generally the same thing. If they have another baby, they're gonna be protective with the new baby from everyone, even their past baby. And so then they'll push them off. So I would say they stay longer together in the wild. But it's sometimes to the mare's detriment, because we have mares even with grain, even with hay, with our care, their weight, you know, will just get so sucked down from these babies nursing off of them. And so, you know, it's just like anything in the wild. Sometimes it works out, and sometimes it's to the detriment of the horse, you know. Sure, they can foal by themselves, but sometimes they die. It's kind of like, yes, horses can foal by themselves, but a lot of horses die foaling from complications. Yes, horses can wean by themselves, But sometimes that could be to the detriment of either the mare gets really sucked down or they hurt their baby by trying to get them to go away, you know? Horses don't get their teeth done in the wild, but they're also eating a lot rougher forage usually. And if they get a tooth infection, they die, you know?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that we can do in the barn on farms that do prevent injuries or make things a little easier, but it's a little different, so.
I'm just picturing like Trudy foaling out in the wild and
And
just
just
sitting
sitting
and
on her baby's
crushing
head.
her baby.
Yeah. Or I don't think last year Gracie with Petey, I don't think she would have had him. She was a maiden, and it was very hard for her. He wasn't even a big baby. He was just like one arm here, and
Yeah.
you know. So we had to help her out, but people get mad at that.
So about how long would you say it takes until they can kind of see each other in passing and not know really that's my mom?
And I don't feel like there's any way to really know if they
Or
don't
I guess
know. You know,
when are they kind of okay with it and just don't really
Right.
care anymore?
I would say, like Penelope right now is 18 months old and is stalled across from her mom. Doesn't care one bit. I'd say a yearling to be safe, which is like 6 months apart. But honestly, it's been so long since we've put one back in with their mom, because usually that's only going to happen if we keep one that's going to be bred or whatever, and so they go out with their mom. Or, I mean, we don't put with the way that our farm is set up, we separate the geldings from the mares. So if a baby is a gelding that I kept, it's not going to go with its mom. So it's never really happening. But we've had, like I remember last year, Cool and Waylon were stalled next to each other. Totally fine. Didn't act weird at all, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say a good 6 months is safe.
Speaking of Waylon, can you give like an update on the horses that you have at training?
Right. So up until, Tulsa, we had a lot more in training because Finn and Petey were in training. And I'm so excited for the homes that they went to. I saw Finn's new owner posting about him on her Facebook page, and they are so cute together. So we have Wheezy, who's in training locally. She is with Kyle Performance Horses, and she's doing great. I'm in no rush for Wheezy because she's growing a lot. So we are doing light saddle work. We're not really pushing her to show anytime soon. We want her to be mature. We want her to go along slow. So she's going on a lot of like horse show ride-alongs just to see the sights. Kendall, who is the daughter of the trainers, and she's been working with Wheezy a lot, she has been taking her to ropings and just getting her really desensitized to stuff. And even a couple of the lesson kids have been riding her and just getting her used to everything. So I love that about her. Waylon and Stevie are with Jason and Jamie English. Waylon is doing great. Again, I don't show my 2-year-olds, so he's 2, and it is next year that we're hoping he's ready to show. Showing lots of promise for the Western Pleasure. Some horses, you might breed them for Western Pleasure or for Hunter Saddle, and it's like, oh, well, they're kind of telling us they need a different job, which is kind of what happened with Stevie. Is she is very talented over poles, and her lead change is really pretty, and when she's going just a tick faster and is in like the horsemanship reins, she's gonna be so cool in like the all-around for the pattern classes, the Western riding, the trail, the showmanship. So that's where she's kind of headed. She's 4, and there's literally hate pages about her.
Why?
They're like, Stevie, her rear end is higher than her front end. I'm like, well, she's growing. She hit a growth spurt. That she's young. Or they're like, she's not talented and whatever. I'm like, well, that's a personal opinion, but very much disagree. I think she's absolutely fantastic. She looks very much like Beyonce. And Beyonce was so talented in the trail, which I think that's going to be Stevie's calling.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to go to the Congress because they're taking Stevie, and I'm going to ride her and stuff while we're there. So Waylon, he's just kind of in training. He hasn't even gone on a ride along yet. And then Stevie, she's been going to shows, and we are looking to sell her due to the fact that she's just a little smaller than what I would want as my show horse. If she was 2 to 3 inches taller, I would literally be showing her in the trail next year. But I think she would be amazing for someone in the all-around.
Yeah.
And I'd like to get her into a show home. So that's the plan. And so we kind of swapped gears from pleasure. And we were like, okay, let's let her do what she likes. And she's so happy, and like her demeanor is so much better, and she's like so easy. Jamie lets her little like 3-year-old son ride on her. Like, she's so calm. Anyway, we love Stevie. And then there's Denver. And Denver's with Aaron Moses in Texas. And we are going to be going to the World Show and watching him show in the versatility. And so I'm nervous, but I'm very excited. So he's amazing.
This isn't a question, but someone said they got a new lizard and they named it Indy Mushu, named after Indy and then Mushu, you know.
I love that.
I do too.
I love that my animals are inspiring the names of other. I guess a lizard's not like an animal technically, but you know, people's pets. It's a reptile.
I mean, that's a type of animal.
Is it? Is a reptile considered an animal? Because it's not a. Is it a mammal?
I
thought mammals were considered animals. Reptiles. Am I crazy?
I feel like those are
We're
just
Googling.
homo.
I think it's an animal.
Hold on.
I think they're all animals.
A snake is an animal.
Yeah, it's. They're all animals.
Hold on.
That doesn't mean that.
Mammal is a sub-classification
Yes.
of animal.
So is reptile and.
I'm wrong. Anyway. You can leave that in and make me look dumb. I've always thought of them as like just reptiles over here and like furry birthing animals over here. You know what I'm saying?
They are.
Anyway.
We're going to talk about our Harry Potter houses, what yours is, what mine is, what
I
Nate's
did the
is.
test when we were in Texas.
Yes.
Was I Hufflepuff? Or was I Ravenclaw?
I thought it was Ravenclaw.
I think I've always thought I was a Hufflepuff, and then I took the test and I was a Ravenclaw.
Okay. Nate, you're also a Ravenclaw. I am a Hufflepuff.
You're very much a Hufflepuff.
Why do you say that?
I don't know, you just are.
And then they asked, what house you think the Foals would be sorted into.
Walter would not be Gryffindor. Walter would be, he's just a little
I
baby.
want to say Hufflepuff.
Yeah, I think he would be Hufflepuff. I think Molly would be Ravenclaw. What are your thoughts on the boys?
Fred is very much giving me Gryffindor.
You
I
think?
don't know why. Howie.
I think Daphne gives off Gryffindor.
Me too. I was going to say that for her.
Daphne gives off Gryffindor.
I think Howie, Molly, Hufflepuff.
I don't think we have a Slytherin.
I don't think
Annie
so either.
Slytherin.
Yeah.
Annie and Trudy are Slytherin.
Yeah. Maybe Gracie.
Maybe Gracie.
I think Wally's Slytherin.
That's okay, but I feel like you're only saying that because of his color.
You think
Because
Wally's Slytherin?
first off, I was like, okay, and he's mysterious,
think
but
about all of Malfoy's friends.
just kind of like.
Wally's a Slytherin. We need to hear in the comments from our
Yeah.
fellow nerds.
Yeah.
What do you think?
What about the minis?
The minis?
Saying Slytherin for Gretchen.
Squirt is Gryffindor because he is so headstrong without even thinking. Like, his bravery will get him in trouble.
I think Karen
George
Ravenclaw.
Slytherin.
Yeah.
George Slytherin. Pico. He let his mom pee on his head.
Hufflepuff.
I think that Gretchen is Slytherin.
I think Karen Ravenclaw. I don't know about Regina because she's mean, but
I mean, maybe we just have a bunch of Slytherin minis.
yeah.
Dolly, Hufflepuff. They're both Hufflepuff.
Oh. Okay. What are your biggest challenges and biggest rewards with breeding horses?
the reward, I don't even think it's when they make it to the show pen. I think it's just when you, like today, when I looked out and we were putting the weaners out in the pasture, like I just had a moment where I was just like so proud of them all. Like I was so proud of like the matches I had put together and how it had like created this beautiful baby. And I was watching them all out there, like no training, no anything, and just looking at like their raw talent. And I was like,
Yeah.
and I was just, like, I think I told you, I was like, I'm just so proud of them, you know? And so, like, obviously, it's so rewarding when they go win something or they go to a show home or they, you know, accomplish something. But I think just them being naturally amazing is like, so rewarding. But, I mean, I think the struggles is also, like, you've seen this year just how much can go wrong. And that's not uncommon for things to go wrong. And so you have to have that reward or you go crazy.
Yeah. You would say the reward outweighs the negatives for sure.
I keep doing it.
Yeah.
So I'd say so.
A lot of people were asking if we know anything yet about Bubbles and Blossom.
I was thinking about that because I think Clyde left a month ago. And I was trying to go back and look at videos of Buttercup and Bella. I couldn't really find one that was that early on where I had like gone and looked at their udders. Like I need to think about that and like take pictures. Because I've been looking at their udders. Like they all are fat right now because they've all been getting grain with the babies and they've all been eating a ton of grass. So I don't think we can go off their bellies. I don't know if it's too early. Like it's kind of like at the 30, 40 day mark. And I think that's a little early to tell. So here's the thing, though. If they didn't get pregnant, I'm not, like, mad about it. Like, I'm like, okay, well, that just wasn't the...
Yeah.
And apparently, like, Nigerian dwarf goats, it was hot when he was with them. And that's not their preferred breeding season. They prefer to breed when it's a little colder out. So if, you know, there's another month go by, maybe I'll have them checked out. And if they're not bred, we'll have, you know, a buck out to service them once again.
Would you do Clyde again?
I don't know. I
Flurry
might
again.
Well, I would love to do Flurry again with the ones he can breed.
He can't do those two. Are they his?
Flurry, he can't breed Blossom.
Okay.
He's Blossom's dad. So he could breed Bubbles, but I'm like, do I want to like breed them like these three and then leave Blossom out?
I know.
Like, I don't know. So we'll see.
How do you separate caring and loving the animals to hunting? Not being critical, just want to understand.
I guess that's pretty fitting coming up to like, deer season's pretty soon and dove season. So I've been taught my entire life that hunters, and it's not even that I've been taught, I've seen it, how much hunters, not the crappy ones, there's bad people and everything, but most hunters love animals. And without hunting, there's a lot of things that happen. Let me reword this. There's studies proven that hunting has improved the species across North America over the last 100 years because it helps the herd be healthier. You're taking down numbers so that there's no food shortages. They're not getting hit by cars as much. There's a natural, there's this primal thing about it of managing the herd over here, feeding your family over here. You respect the animal, but it's also feeding you and it's also providing and you're utilizing that animal. And so I don't hunt just to go kill things. We eat it, we feed people with it. It also is what manages the wildlife on our farm and in the surrounding area. Luckily, we live in a place that, isn't really hurting for natural resources for the deer. But as far as population, Tennessee is so overrun with deer that you can shoot 3 does per day the entire season. One hunter can shoot 170 does. Does that happen? No. But like you can't drive anywhere without seeing a deer on the side of the road. Mm-hmm. You don't know anyone that hasn't hit one. Like it is so overrun here. And so that's one of the issues that hunting helps with. All of our ammo, guns, bows, arrows, hunting licenses, out-of-state permits, they all go towards wildlife management. So all of that money, like buying ammo, it's taxed for that. So all of that money goes towards like managing these wildlife to the best of their ability and making them thrive. So it's good for them. It's good for us. We get food. And so I've just always, I mean, we have beef cattle, you know? And so I just grew up realizing that animals are to be respected and taken care of to the best of our abilities. But God put them on this earth for us to benefit from.
I don't know. I guess before I started here, I had a different opinion. Now I get the like thought process that goes into it. I don't necessarily know if I want to be the one to do it, just because it would. I don't know if I could handle it personally, but I also don't want to be hypocritical because I do eat meat and like, you know, I just don't know if I would have the. I don't know. I don't know if I'd be able to watch.
You didn't have a problem with the turkey.
No, I don't, and I don't know why. The turkey are just gross, and then they were humping the little decoy.
They were.
And
Our little hen decoy got
just harassing
violated.
it, and I was like, I don't care.
And then we had turkey nuggets. Oh my gosh.
I'm excited for the dove hunt too. For that
oh my
reason.
gosh, the dove hunt is so good. Like, I look forward to that all year long because dove poppers are my favorite thing ever. They're so good. People are like, why would you even shoot little birds? You can't eat off that. I'm like, you gotta shoot enough of them. You can. I don't even know how many birds I consumed last year. It was so good.
Didn't you say you do like an assembly line?
We do. Like, you'll see on Sunday because, you know, after the hunt, it's like 7:30 when we're done. And then we got to clean the birds, and then you got to like clean the meat, get the breasts. So like one bird has 2 breasts and they're like that big. And we have an assembly line of like the bacon and the jalapenos and the cream cheese and like all the things to assemble the poppers. And then they're feeding it to Jonathan, who's over there putting it on the Blackstone. And then he's getting, you know, it has to work like that or it's going to be so long.
And there's a separate line for the ones without jalapenos
For me.
for you. And if anyone eats them,
Gone, not invited next
kicked
year.
out. If you had any advice for people who want to become creators or renew at creating, what would that advice be?
There's a lot that I could say for that. I would say you have to have a balance between like being on your phone all the time and like actually living. And it took me a minute to figure that out because like you're constantly like reading comments and then you're wanting to post it and then you want to see how the post is doing, whatever. But sometimes you have to like live, you know, you have to actually just be in the moment. And so there's a balance there, but also, no creator is ever going to get past like the hate train. There's not a creator on any platform that doesn't have people that's going to be hateful to them or figure out something they don't like about them and they're going to tell them. And I would say, and I see this with a lot of people. I mean, like some of my favorite creators have like left the social media platform that they've been on because of the hate. And I would say it took me a while, but you have to get a thick skin and you have to understand the person that you are and realize that even though people watch you on social media, they're not going to know you. They don't know your heart. They don't know you. And so like for me, it's so much better to not even feed into it and just block people. Because, and I'm not saying if people ask a question and they disagree with me, we can have disagreements. But if, like, you wouldn't believe the amount of people that tell me how fat I am, tell me how, like, disgusting I am, that when I used to be mostly hunting, would send me death threats for hunting, that would just rip me to pieces without knowing me. These days, a lot of it is surrounding horses and surrounding choices I make with my horses. And you have to protect your own peace. You have to protect your own mental stability and your own mental health. And for me, the best solution for that has been to just block people. And so I've handled that for myself. But then like recently, like when we were talking with Danny the other day and like with you, it's like I've given y'all access to my pages so that you can start blocking people who are mean to other people on social platforms. And like it's just so unnecessary that people are that hateful, but at the same time, as a creator, if it's pointed towards you, it's unfortunate, but you have to have a thick skin. And the quicker you figure that out, and the quicker you just protect your own peace by just saying, they don't know me and I'm blocking them. They don't have any entitlement to my content if they're gonna act like that. Cut it off. Don't sit there and try to convince people to like you. That's not on you. That's on them for being a hateful person. So, block. That's just, I would say that's like number one.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. Well, now we're going to do rapid fire. What's your favorite breakfast?
Pancakes.
Name a 4-letter word that starts with the letter B.
Bear.
That was good. What's your favorite type of weather?
Fall. Like 60 degrees in the 50s, hoodie weather, want to have a fire, but like sit outside too, not too cold. Oh.
What's your favorite store? I know we've done this.
My favorite store, you were like, it's Sephora. Probably, like, honestly, I know, it's rapid fire. Amazon. I hate that.
Amazon.
I hate that.
What time do you usually go to bed?
Midnight.
What's your favorite type of music?
Country.
What's your favorite movie genre?
Period romance.
Describe your style in one word.
Non-existent.
What kind of landscape would you like to live in?
I love Tennessee, Middle Tennessee.
Have you ever won a contest?
Yes.
Do you wear socks with sandals?
No.
Can you freestyle rap?
Absolutely not.
Can you name more than 10 U.S. presidents?
Probably not.
Try.
Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Barack Obama, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, James Madison, Theodore Roosevelt, George W. Bush Sr., George W. Bush, or no, George Bush Sr., George W. Bush, Bill Clinton. And I can think of more.
I can think, yeah. I don't know why James K. Polk was like the first thing that popped in.
Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan.
I didn't have faith in myself, but I should have. Anyway, I'm not good under pressure with knowledge. Yeah, with knowledge that doesn't surround horses. Hope you enjoyed that. Let me know if you have any more questions for future episodes or even just topics. Sometimes we like to just have a topic and we just yap for a little while. But hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.